I don't know if you have this situation where people register their domain and they get their website up and running and they plan to sort of build their website later, or they start building the website and they choose a package. Now I'm going to just show you quickly the setup. For example, you'll go and use a Linux. So we'll come to a package like this and say, okay, what is your requirement? And often they would say, okay, either the 39 Rand or 49 Rand. This is South African rands, which is approximately, $2 and $3 kind of thing per month. And it gives you these features. And then, of course, you have all the bigger size packages and so forth. So with some service providers, they give you unlimited everything, unlimited email storage, unlimited traffic, everything. But in those cases, you pay a premium for it. So somebody just wants to have their emails up and working, have a small site, a small presence on the internet, and have emails to function. So I would choose a setup like this for them, a 39 Rand, and even downscale it a bit more. With AfriHost, we have the ability, once we register, we can downscale it to just being a email setup, so an email premium setup that only does email. So it drops it even down from 1,000 megs of storage space down to about 300 megs. Problem is if they go that route and the email client that they're using, for example, Outlook or something, gets the mail, but leaves a copy on the server so that in case something happens with their Outlook, they have the mails there and they can restore it again. Or if they go and they remove it from the server, everything is held locally with their Outlook, and if their computer crashes, all their mails are gone. So there's no real kind of a safeguard. So what I started doing with clients who called me and said, listen, I took the 49 Rand or the 69 Rand package, but now my mails are not going through. And that's mainly because as the mails start to move with attachments, the amount of space that they're paying for starts to become exceeded, and then the website itself stays constant, but the mails that come into the mailbox play a role, and the more mails they send through, the quicker it gets filled. What I've started doing is using Gmail as the sort of go-between. So all I use the client's domain for is to have the domain address named the .co.za or .com. The mails would come to it. It would then be extracted from that into your Gmail account, which gives you, you have 15 gigs of storage space. What I usually do is I tell the client, don't use that for your Google Drive or anything, just use it for the mail purposes, even if we have to create a new Gmail account. So I'm going to show you how I go through this process. In this way, the client is able to use their business domain name to receive mails and to send mails from, using Gmail as the actual sort of go-between. Now you can create a Gmail business account, and then it does this automatically for you. But for those of you like on a shoestring budget, or just want to be able to work as if you're in your business account and have Gmail do all the filtering, the spam filtering and all that sort of stuff, then this is a solution. So we get the person get their domain. In this example, I'm going to use, let's just see, I'm using my one domain. I'm going to use Rory at F3. I think I've got it down here somewhere. Okay, so this one is what I'm going to use, because I think I remember the email, the password I used. So I'm going to just click checked email to see which settings they are using over here. So as we get further down here, this will show us what the actual settings are. So of course my username will be that, the password will be what I've secured it at. So this is the incoming server and outgoing server. So this is the important details, incoming and outgoing, that we are going to utilize with Gmail. So client comes and says, look here, I've got Rory at F3E. I'm really not using this domain that much, or I've got a lot of emails, but I don't want to be paying for a big hosting space just for my emails. So this is how I'd go about it. I'll say, okay, you've got this. This is your business domain. Now we go set up a Gmail account. Now this Gmail account is, you've got to set up one Gmail account for one domain. Okay, so it acts in that way. So you're not creating one Gmail to handle all the company's emails. For this specific purpose, you're wanting to receive all the Rory at f3e.co.za, and when you send the mail from your Gmail account, it must send it as an alias coming from Rory at f3e.co.za. Okay, so I have now already created a Gmail account. It's Rory 079. Okay, this number is arbitrary for you, but this is the Gmail account. So this is the Gmail account from which I will do business, receiving mails from the Rory at F3E, and this is also the Gmail that I'll be sending mails from, that will come, or that will arrive at the person I'm sending to as Rory at F3E, and I'll show you how that gets done. Also, what I do is I make sure that my Gmail account will, when it goes to fetch the mail, periodically it will remove the original mail from the server, the f3e.co.za server that I'm hosting the website on, or the email account. In that way, this actual email box that I'm using will never get filled. So as mails come in, the Gmail will go fetch it, take it out, and erase whatever's been in there. So it always will stay empty, with the exception of when a mail arrives and so forth. Okay, so let's go. I usually go and set up, you see, when you create a Gmail, you have these primary social. I go to the setting over here, and I go click on settings. This is what I do standard under inbox. I go and I disable social and promotion, and the default I go down to unread first. Okay, then pops two dialogues out here, and all this does, it makes sure that any mails that come in that hasn't been read, you can see it here, and once you've opened and read it, it goes into this part of your mailbox on the in section. I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to save that. Don't forget to save it. Okay, then it pops back out. Let me just get back in there. And this is a normal Gmail account you work. So to log into this, you'll use the same way you log in on your devices. You'd log into this Gmail account to deal with all Rory at F3E emails going forward from now. Okay, so I'm going to go under General. I'll deal with this a bit later. At the bottom here, we have the signatures. Now, I haven't linked Rory at F3E to this Gmail account, so we have nothing over here. So once I do that, you'll see Rory at F3E come in here, and we'll put in a signature that we'll be able to use when we send mail out. That signature will be attached to the mail. Okay. What else do I need to just check here? Okay, for now that's fine. I am going to click on Accounts and Import. So here is where the key happens. Okay. Now I have already set it up like I want to in all the other aspects. However, now when I send a mail, it's going to send it as Rory 079 at Gmail. It's sending it from a Gmail account. So how do I set it so that it sends it from Rory at F3 as if it's coming from my company email? So what I do is I start off by going and I said I want to be able to check my mails by checking this Rory at F3E. Okay. So if I scroll, let me see, import mails, send mails, check mail. There we go. Check mails from other accounts, add mail account. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Now it's asking me what email address do I want to go and check. So this means it's going to go and check this email address, get the mail there, and bring it into my Gmail account for me. So I'm going to say Rory at f3e.co.za. Say next. Okay, now I had a problem with someone's, was it a live account? A Microsoft Live account. It just didn't want to authenticate the POP servers and the settings we put in. Then I selected Gmailify, and it went and it worked through there. So for those of you who are struggling to get into going to fetch your Microsoft mails in the same way I'm doing this now, you can use this Gmailify. Okay, but in this case now I am basically going here. If I go back, let me just see if I go here and I say at live.com, let's see if it gives me the Gmailify. Yeah, there we go. Can you see a link account with Gmailify? So what it does is, based on your email extension, if it is a extension that Gmailify can do, it's like a third-party automatic setup for you that you use. So if it identifies the extension as being at live or some others, I don't know which all the others are, it will then make Gmailify available. Then you can use Gmailify to use it as a setup. But in this case, it doesn't recognize this as a very advanced domain that I'm working from, because that's my personal one. So it's, I think if you go at live at Yahoo and those sort of stuff, it will activate Gmailify, that you can use that as the setup feature. Okay, so mine is blanked out because I'm using my own POP server. Okay, so we go import mails from that POP, go next. Now, yes key, I've got, that's my username for Rory at F3E. Now I need to put in a password. What was it? Okay, hopefully I've got it correct there. Now my POP server, now this is quite crucial. Now this defaults to that area. I'm going to go and look here. And this is my POP server settings. So POP3, it is this that I've got to put in. Okay. So I take that and just make sure the port, if I'm going on a POP, it must be 995. Okay. Now to find it again, you might click here and you don't know where it is. Just go down to the area here and hover over it. You'll see it. It's one of the windows that open here, and then you just click on it. Okay. So I'm going to remove that and paste it there. So that is my POP server. The port, what was that we had on there? The port, incoming port for POP is 955. So I go hover here again. There we go. Click that. So it must be 995. Oops, sorry. 995, yes. Okay, so it's 995 now. Here's important. This first one says leave a copy of the retrieved message on the server. By default, it's unchecked, which you want to leave that way. If you click that button, then it will go fetch a mail and leave a copy on the server, which is going to forfeit the whole purpose of why we're doing this. We're wanting to just use the Rory at f3e.co.za domain email space, that little either 30 megs or 100 megs we allow there, just for the mails to arrive, and then we fetch it. Once we fetch it, we want to clear it off there, because it will then bring it into our Gmail account, which is probably 10 times more secure place for your mail in any case. And once it's in your Gmail, you can of course access it from any device. Just remember that sending it from your desktop or your laptop, you have the ability to include a signature at the bottom. From your mobile device, that signature doesn't pull through in that case. But that's just a small sort of side note. Important, leave a copy, retrieve, make sure it's not checked. Okay, so everything can leave as default there. So we're going to go add the account. So it's going to run now. It's going to connect to the server and find out whether all these verifications is right. So you can see here waiting for mail.google to go and do its thing. Now it's connecting to Rory at f3e.co.za, verifying that the server, the ports, everything is correct. And it will then come back and notify us of that information. Okay, so it seems to be there is a bit of a problem. Maybe we should shift it back to the default there, and let's go here. Okay, I'm going to just add that. Maybe it's, yep, so it's the port, even though, I'm going to just cancel it, even though this thing gave me a port of 995. Google wants to use port 110. So just make sure we can just click to the default that it lands on. So here they're asking you another question. Do you want to retrieve the mail from this account? It's asking also, would you want to also send mail as Rory at F3E? So do you want to send the mails that you have in your Gmail account as if you are Rory at F3? It can set it up for you. You want to say yes. Okay, so you say yes and next. So the name will be here, you'll say as Rory Townsend. Okay, you can change this later again. So it's going to send it as Rory Townsend coming from email address Rory at F3E, and it will treat it as an alias. Okay, so I'm not clued up on explaining alias to a T, but it's a kind of it's disguised the actual Gmail account as if it's coming from Rory at F3E, because it's got authorization into that account and the password login details, so it can do it on behalf of Rory at F3E. Okay, so we go next step. So here, SMTP server, again we go through here and we're going to go SMTP server is that, and in the same way, let's go here to the bottom. I'm going to paste that there. In the same way, I'm going to leave this port here. I think Google puts its default ports there. It knows best. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, so this password is not the password of your Gmail account. This is the password of Rory at F3E, because it needs to use this detail to go into that account there. Okay, so now it's going to be able to send the mail as if it's coming from Rory at F3E. Can you leave everything as default? You say add account. Okay. And now's the key thing. You should have access to this email address, because they're going to send you a verification email through to there, which has got a code in there that you've got to put in here. Okay, so in that way, I am going to now go to this mail. I'm going to say, let me go and say check mail. And I'm going to go to one of these webmail areas. So yours is going to be unique to you. You're going to have your own webmail interface for your company. So if you don't know what it is, ask your service provider how you get via your browser into your email section. But you have to have access to it, because your Gmail is going to send you a mail to this account, and you've got to verify that you own this account. Okay, so let's see if I refresh here. If you're not seeing anything, maybe just go and look under trash or junk. It might have gone in there, usually under junk. With this setup, sometimes, depending on your service provider, it might take a little while for it to come through to the mailbox over here. Okay, so there, Gmail confirmation, double click that. Then there's a code that it's sent here. I'm going to take that. Okay, so if you read through the mail, if you click this link that was verified, or there's a code that's sent here, you take that code and you take it to that setup page again. Remember, if you can't see it when you open up the page, just hover over the icon at the bottom. You'll see this dialog window open here. Okay, I'm going to right click and paste it in there and say verify. Okay, so there we've basically verified it. If we come back here now, we can see that send mail as Rory at F3E. First thing to do is to click this and say make this the default, because this is the account you want to be working from now. Okay, so you click that. So now when you send mail, it's going to send it as Rory, and when it goes to receive mail, it will receive it from Rory at F3E. Remember, any mail sent to Rory079, etc. at Gmail will come through to this account naturally. But what we are concerned about, the setup, is the actual company name that we were trying to pull into the Gmail account. Okay, so we've got that now as our default mail sending. Okay, so before I go ahead, I'm going to just go to inbox. Now, interesting thing here, you see here's the confirmation mail that's come through here. If we go back to the mail here, if I just go and I go back I refresh. If you look here at my inbox, that mail is gone now. That mail's been pulled from here and it's been brought into my Gmail. This is the exact same mail we saw just now for the confirmation. So it's gone to go and fetch it out there, cleared it out of our mailbox and brought it in here. So going forward, this is where the mail will reside. So if I click on inbox here, I explained to you about unread and everything else when I set it up in the back end. So this is what will happen. So here you'll see now, once I've looked at that mail, you'll see it will shift to everything. And if I click up this button, this is how you keep your mail nice and neat. So as new mails arrive, they'll come in here and you can read them. And the mails you've checked already will be in everything else, just to keep it nice and neat. Okay, so now I want to send a mail. I'm going to send a mail out. So I'll go through the normal way of composing as if you're in Gmail. Okay, so this Gmail account now, this Rory079 at Gmail, this account is now treated as my rory@f3e.co.za business account. So if I go compose, you see it pulls up here and you see it automatically says from Rory F3E. If I say this to my other email account, I'll say hello, welcome, testing the Gmail account. Okay, but if you notice at the bottom here, there is no signature at the bottom. I'm going to show you now briefly how to install a signature here that when you send it, you can put in your company signature over here. Okay, so if I'm going to click send, it pretty much sends as per normal. If I go to send, you'll see, oops, there's a whole lot of other mails that I've sent already through here. Let's just go here. This is the one that I want to show you. I've just sent this now, testing the Gmail account. Okay. So that's how it's done as far as composing. So I'm going to go back to this button here. And if I click on there, I'm going to settings. The last thing I want to show you is under general, we're going to scroll down. And here by signature, you're going to see, if I click here, there's the Gmail one there. And this is the Rory@f3e. So I've got to select this one. And I've got to click on the signature because I want the signature to show. So if I say Rory Townsend, 1 Simon Street, Parkside, 0795, say that's my signature. Okay, I'll go there and I'll make that bold, make that a bit larger, whatever. Can change color of that. Remember, you can actually go into a word processor like Microsoft Word, create a actual signature here in a square, create a little area, copy that, and come in and paste that HTML here, and it will bring it in formatted nicely. Okay, but that's for another time. I just want to show you that this is, now I've got a signature in, I'm going to go save the changes. So if I now click compose, can you see it automatically brings that signature in and I can start sending the message. And if you click here, it will be sending it from rory@f3e.co.za. Okay. I'm just going to go to my other mail. Let me just go to my other mail account and send a mail and we can see how it will come through. I'm going to just go here. Sign into that one. Okay, so I'm going to send a mail from this Gmail account now just to test it. There will be a slight delay when you're sending it to the actual domain site because it goes to that .co.za, rory@f3e.co.za. And it depends when your Gmail account goes in to go and look for it and bring it out. So that might be the little bit of delay. But for general mail operations, that's, no stress. If you want to get it sooner, you go into the back end of your Gmail and you go refresh it there. So I'm going to just say compose. I'm going to send it to Rory, this one here. Oh, no. I want to send it to Rory@f3e. Yeah, send it to this one. Say my tester. Thank you for assisting. Oops. The second letters that always go into caps. So I'm going to be sending it now to Rory at F3E, and let's see how that works. So there I've sent it. If I go to my mailbox, it should arrive here. Okay, but it's not coming straight to this Gmail account. It's first going to Rory at f3e.co.za, and this Gmail account will go and fetch it periodically. I think there is a plugin that can go and fetch it more regularly than what the actual thing does it. But if you're wanting to check if there's any recent emails and you're impatient to wait for it to come through, you can just go to your settings in the back end, and then you can go to that email address. You go to the accounts. So you want to go check mail from other account. You can come here and you can click on check mail now. So if you click there, it will go check if there's any mails. And if there's any mails, it will bring those mails into your mailbox. There we go. So there you've manually just gone and said go fetch it in there. Thank you for assisting. So that's how it works. Okay, so if I look at it here, it says it's coming from F3E. It's been sent to Rory at F3E. And if I respond here now, I'm going to respond. If I look at where it's responding from Rory at F3E, I'm going to say, got your mail. Okay, so if I send that off, if I go to my mailbox, oh, here it goes, got your mail. Okay, so hopefully that's been of help, and have a great day, fantastic day, and as I always say, share the knowledge with other people, because if you share some information with somebody, it saves them from learning, and then you've actually given them part of time back, and you've given them part of their life back, and part of that time they can spend with their loved ones and just add a value to life as such. Have a great day, and God bless.